going on, guys? We got another video here. I would like to get this out here before winter comes. Up here in Pennsylvania, obviously the snow's going to start falling here shortly, and the Cobra is going to be in storage here in my shop. So what I'm going to do is a quick video on what I do before I park it for the season. Yeah, like I said, there's other ways of doing it, but this is what I do before I park mine. So let's check it out. So first off, what I do is you get a nice wash on the car, and oh my gosh, that paint, love it. Absolutely love this Mystic. It's a pain in the butt whenever it goes bad though, or gets scratched. But either way, you go over it, clean it, and wax it, and get a good clean going. So when it is stored, you know you got some protection on it. Actually, the hoods, yeah, as you can see, didn't do a great job, but it was like first try doing something big like this was a Plasti Dip. Either way, that's the wax that I use. A little bit of a shout out to Ice, the turtle wax. Wow, it's not focusing at all today. Either way, also, number one thing, battery. What I'm going to do is take my battery completely out and put it on my little station I have over here, and put it on a trickle charger, and I just swap it out on each battery that I have. I got big tractor over there, I got four-wheelers and everything all over the place. So I have a station that what I usually do is put all the batteries up on at the station, and I move the trickle charger over throughout this winter time. So it keeps them all nice and charged. And even the little tractor here, I'm actually going to pull the battery out of this one as well and put it over there. So first thing what I do is pull the batteries out of anything that's going to be stored for a little while and put it on a trickle charger. Or if you have just the hookups, you can hook straight onto it and then have it dangling out underneath the hood and plug it in. That's fine. But being that I got so many batteries, I'm not going to do that because I got to swap it over, and I got a little bench that I leave everything on. So do that. Also, check the engine oil, check all the fluids. It's kind of something you overlook, but being in here, I have a cement floor, so if there's any leaks, I can see it. But if you don't have that and you're just doing it outside in like a gravel driveway or something, you might not see a leak if you got one. So what I also do is check all the fluids. That's your coolant, your power steering, your brake fluid. If you have an automatic transmission, check that. And engine oil, like I said, check all the fluids and see if you have any leaks, and also fill it up and make sure it's not a big deal, but your washer fluid, if you have summer washer fluid in it, then you're not going to have the negative temperatures, and it could freeze. And if it's full and by some chance it freezes and expands, it could crack your tank, and you obviously don't want to do that. Same thing with your coolant. Some guys race these cars, or just cars, bikes in general. If you race them, some people run straight water in them, and that's good. It keeps the heat temperatures down. But obviously in the wintertime, if it's cold, what does water do? It expands, so it could actually crack your block. We've seen it on some street bikes. My cousin had a turbo Gixxer 600. At the time, it didn't have the turbo on it, but either way, it had coolant, or the coolant was out, and it had water replacing it. So what he didn't realize that, and it cracked his block. So that cost him losing a bike because he had to sell it, and then they did a bunch of other stuff. So check fluids, make sure you got antifreeze in it if that's what you're running. Make sure you got good coolant in it, good levels. What I also do is I actually change my oil. It might not be the best idea, I'm not sure, but that's what I do. I change my oil before I park it, so whenever I start it up, I know it's got fresh oil in it. Same thing with the air filter. This actually has like a K&N. That's underneath the little homemade cover here. But I recharge that, as in you clean it and re-oil the filter. So I do that. A good thing to do, and I'm not doing it today, but I will do it, is actually jack your car up and put them on jack stands if you can do that. Why? Because if they sit for so long, they actually kind of get little flat spots on the tire, and obviously you don't want that. So good thing to do is put it on jack stands. Another thing that I do is clean the interior out. Just make sure everything's nice and clean. I'm a neat freak when it comes to my cars and everything, and so everything is clean before I start to store it away. And if there's any problems that you know of, make a list. And even with the fluid, if you want to make a list, say, hey, brake fluid was at this level, coolant was here, power steering was here. And then when spring comes around and you want to drive the car again, go back, look at your checklist and go over it and see, hey, all my levels are exactly the same. We're good to go. No leaks here. We're good. Another thing you can do is, if you're not going to fire the car up much, is put some in the gas tank here. Boom. That's a little dirty. Put some stabilizer in it if you want, or just fill it up and put high octane in it. That's what I do as well. I mean, I run the highest octane you can get at the pump anyways in this car, but either way, fill the tank up, make sure it's good. So if you do have to fire this up, which I do throughout the winter time, I fire the car up and make sure it runs through and everything's looking good and throughout the winter. So yeah, like I said, it's just a couple things that I do while I before I park the thing for the winter. And also what you can do is, in PA we got state inspections, so make sure it's either up to date, or if it runs out in the winter time, obviously you're gonna have to get it inspected before you park it, or make sure you remind yourself that it needs inspected. So yeah, guys, it's just a quick little video of what I do. If you have any other things or ideas that you guys do before you park it, let me know. And also, after you're done washing and all that, put a cover on top of it. And I got a pretty good cover, and obviously it's in my shop, so that helps as well. But I said, guys, that's what I got. If you have any other comments, leave them below. Give it a big thumbs up. And if you like this stuff, we got some more projects coming. I got that four-wheeler. We're putting a winch on it here shortly. So like I said, if you like it, give it a big thumbs up. And hopefully we'll get some more videos of this car next year. All right, guys, have a good one.